First of all, before we begin, where are we catching you?
I am decamped in Miami Beach.
Okay, well, that's a good place to be. Neil is traveling all over the world. He's the first person that I know that I've ever heard that was thinking about when to count Sphira for when that happens based on the international dateline, right? It's an amazing thing wherever you are.
That's correct. During that period of time between Passover and Shavuot, I have to make sure that I'm not traveling across the date line. So I got to fly, if I'm flying to Asia that way. That's right. It's a bit of a pain, but it isn't that bad. Not that bad.
That's great to have you on. Now, we're really talking about sort of business concepts, business tips, business leadership. We're living in an incredible world right now, and I'm sure you've seen this in your work, the pandemic, what it's done, leadership. From your perspective as a CEO, what do you think are some of the traits or some of the insights that we can glean from this period of time for those that have managed to survive and thrive during these times?
Patience and perseverance, for sure. This period of time has been just an incredible test for so many people. For us in our various businesses, it's actually I'm going to have to dance around certain things that are going on because I'm in a quiet period, if you know what that means, and I know you do. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on, but perseverance, patience, not getting depressed by the moment and getting caught up in it. A lot of people have struggled, and in one of my businesses, I'm going to try to share this with you. Once the pandemic started, our business dropped about 50 or 60%, and we thought it was going further and further down. I was one of the only voices on the board that was saying, "Hey, let's not lose hope. Let's be careful. Let's hunker down and be ready for a long winter." Right? I mean, this was in March, but a long period of struggle. And lo and behold, things turned around, and it wasn't me. It wasn't, it was just sitting there and seeing that what seemed to be a period of struggle was really just a preparation for something that was happening that was actually wonderful. And then in the spring, the business started taking off and doing amazing because it was a part of a wave of companies benefiting by people being at home. So in the very beginning, everyone's locked in. No one can move. And then all of a sudden, people start reacting to their new reality of being in the home. And they start spending on things in the home.
Yeah.
And that was just, it taught me a lot.
It's fascinating you say the word, and it's so true, this idea of being hopeful, this idea of not panicking when things go down, seeing over the hill, if you will, and being able to have the patience and the perseverance that, there's going to be a sunrise at some point. So let's get through the night. How do you, what do you attest that to? That feeling that you have, where does it come from? From your perspective, were you always hopeful? Is there a deeper root in spirituality? Like, how does it connect for you to be this type of person that can go to that place when things are rough?
Look, this is my work every day. I mean, my feeling, if I can just answer that question by taking a very quick detour. I believe that our job, and what you said in your open just resonates so much with me. There's a verse in the Torah at the very end, right at the end of the Torah, that says, "Uzvuan Amar, Smach Zuan B'Tzeisecha V'Yisachar B'Olecha," which means, for those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, you should rejoice. Zvulun is the archetypical businessman that the Torah talks about. You should rejoice in going out. What is the joy in going out? And the definition is actually meeting God in the workplace. We have an opportunity because simcha, that feeling of joy, only happens when we encounter something beyond ourselves. We say this phrase, "Ein simcha k'hataras hasfekes." Simcha itself, the joy, is really a reflection of being able to erase doubts, and that only happens when you have an encounter with the divine. And that is really hard. And I want to share with you two quotes that are amazing. They blow me away. They come from the infamous leader, Winston Churchill, about success. And it really encapsulates so much about what you said at the beginning and how I feel about going through the ups and downs. And I'm just, if you don't mind, I'm going to quote them.
Please.
They're amazing. His first quote: "Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm."
Oh, I love that. I
Now,
love that.
Substitute enthusiasm with simcha, and then you have the Jewish version of what he just said.
Right.
Quote number two.
Wait, before you get to quote number two, I want to digest quote number one. Right? Like you just gave us a gem. Really, what you're getting at is this idea that when you believe that God's in the workplace, meaning you're not out there alone, you're doing God's work, you're not going to lose that meaningful joy, if you will, the deep joy.
Correct.
When you hit a failure, because it's not your failure. It's not you're doing something that's meaningful spiritually, even though it's really physical work.
Absolutely. Look, my rabbis tell me, and I went through a lot of hard times over the last several years. It's not been, all up to the right, that classical hockey stick we talked about in business.
Right.
We say, take time to thank God for the stress and for the failure.
Awesome.
Now, the advice is to spend half an hour doing that. I'm not there yet. Okay?
That's the advanced course. That's the advanced course.
That's the advanced course. So that's the PhD level. I'm basically at 1-1. Here's quote number two, and this is also amazing. It's as impactful, I think, as quote number one. "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." So if you substitute the word courage for faith, you have in both quotes effectively, I think, what you said at your open and what I aspire to as a business leader.
That's amazing.
Joy and faith in those two quotes.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
If I can ask you for a big favor, that's amazing. The wisdoms you just shared. If I can ask you for a favor, and just email, if you can, the quotes to the Project Inspire team, and we're going to circulate that. And for those that want, you can go on the ShabbatShow.com webpage, and we're going to get these quotes to you if you'd like. I know I want to download them on my computer. And you're right, but I want them in your language. I'd like to have the Winston Churchill with the Neil Auerbach, additions. We want the revisions.
But here's the essence for me. You don't experience God except through failure.
Very powerful.
If you always experience success, right? Where's God? You start thinking it's all you.
Right.
Then, I'm the high and mighty. So failure is the transmission of God's revelation in this world to us. That's how we get there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Neil, thank you so much.
It's not easy.
So it's not easy, but you're opening up a door that I'd like for all of us to explore, which is this idea that it is the failure that enables us to interact with the divine, because it humbles us, it gives us the chance to reach into our values, and it builds us as stronger people. Neil, thank you for what you do. Thank you for who you are. You mean so much to all of us and to the Project Inspire team in specific, to me personally. And we thank you for all that you bring to this world and shining your light in this world. And thanks for joining us tonight.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. For more content, like and subscribe, and be sure to tune in live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern at theshabbatshow.com or right here on YouTube.